Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Speak English with James podcast.
It is fantastic to have you joining us again today for another conversation. Whether you're commuting, relaxing, or doing chores right now, thanks for tuning in.
We have a really practical episode planned for today. We aren't just learning textbook grammar, we are diving deep into real, natural English to help you talk about real-world English communication skills and common mistakes.
Exactly. Our goal today is to give you the vocabulary and confidence to move from basic English to sounding more like a native speaker when discussing advanced English communication.
Before we jump into the conversation, if you enjoy learning English in this relaxed podcast style, please take a second right now to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes.
All right, let's get started with today's topic.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is all about delivering some really high-impact improvements to your English. We are not doing a general review.
No, not at all. We're getting surgical here. We're targeting the exact errors that we know hold back even advanced speakers from sounding completely natural.
That's right. We've gone through a ton of material notes on tenses, long lists of tricky words, communication strategies, and our goal for you is simple.
Yep. Walk away from this with fixes you can use today. We want to close the gap between knowing the rules and, actually using them correctly when it counts.
Let's jump straight in.
Okay, let's start in the danger zone. Tenses. The thing is, the error usually isn't that you don't know the tense. It's about choosing the wrong one for this situation.
Right. And number one on this checklist has to be the future. I hear this one constantly, people mixing up plans and intentions. For instance, someone might say, I will meet my friend in half an hour. And while I understand it, it just sounds a little off. Why is that not quite right for a confirmed plan?
Because using will suggests you just made that decision, like right this second. Spontaneously, or that you're making an offer like, I'll get the door. But if you've already arranged to meet your friend, if it's in your calendar,
it's a plan.
It's a prearranged plan. And for that, you really need to use the present continuous.
So the correct way would be, I am meeting my friend in half an hour.
Exactly.
I have an analogy for this. I think of will as what I say when I'm ordering food. I'll have the steak. It's a spur-of-the-moment decision.
That's a perfect analogy.
But if I say, I am having dinner with the CEO tonight, that's scheduled, it's confirmed, that's the continuous form.
That absolutely nails the difference.
Yeah.
So let's pivot from the future to the past.
Yeah.
This is where the present perfect and past simple cause so much confusion.
Right.
The classic mistake is saying something like, I have seen this film yesterday.
I see the problem already. It's that word yesterday. That's the trigger, isn't it?
It's the trigger. The second you specify exactly when something happened, yesterday, last year, 5 minutes ago, you have locked yourself into the past simple. The time is finished.
So it must be, I saw this film yesterday.
It has to be. The present perfect saying, I have seen this film, is for when the time is, open, unspecified. It's a general life experience that's still relevant now.
Okay. Specific timestamp, past simple. Open time frame, present perfect. Got it. What about regular actions? I hear this one a lot. A colleague might say, my sister is playing tennis every weekend.
And to a native here, that sounds a bit strange. It implies it's happening right this second, or maybe it's just a temporary thing she's doing for a few weeks.
But it's a routine.
It's a routine. Yeah. And for regular repeated events, you need the present simple. She plays tennis every weekend. Continuous is for right now.
Okay, that's clear. Now, this is where it gets more advanced. Let's talk about duration. Things that started in the past and are still happening now.
Right. The present perfect simple versus the continuous. You need both for nuance. If you're talking about a state, like living somewhere, the simple is often enough. We have lived here since 2005.
The focus is just on the period of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if you want to emphasize the ongoing activity, the effort?
Then you'd use the continuous. Something like, I've been writing this report for 3 hours and I'm still not done.
Perfect. That continuous form really highlights the duration and the action itself. My cat has been sleeping since this morning.
We can't forget the state of verbs, the silent assassins.
Yes. Verbs like believe, know, understand, they just don't like the continuous form even if you are believing something right now.
You can't say, I'm not believing you.
You just can't. It has to be, I don't believe you.
This one is pure memorization, I'm afraid.
And one last one for tenses. The future perfect. It sounds so formal, but when would you actually need to use it? Will have plus the verb.
It's a marker of high-level proficiency because it shows you're thinking about the sequence of events. You use it to show one future action will be completely finished before another future event even starts.
Can you give me a real-world example?
Of course, in a professional setting, setting a deadline, you could say, I will have finished the report by the time the board arrives. So it means when they walk in the door, the report is already done and waiting for them.
Precisely. It provides clarity and shows planning. It's very useful.
Okay, that's a masterclass in tenses. Let's shift gears now to pronunciation, specifically the words that look absolutely nothing like they sound.
Yes, let's. This section is all about those pronunciation traps. And the biggest one has to be silent letters. But instead of just a random list, let's look for patterns.
Good idea. The first one that comes to mind for me is the silent B. Everyone knows climb, but what are some of the more advanced ones?
Well, the pattern is that B is often silent after an M or before a T. So you drop it in doubt, and definitely in the adjective subtle. It's subtle, not subtle.
Subtle. Okay. What about the silent L?
The L often disappears after vowels like A, O, or U. The two big mistakes here are salmon.
Not salmon.
Never. And calm. The L is completely gone. And another key one is the W in sword. It's pronounced sword.
Fixing just those makes your speech sound so much smoother. Okay, let's talk about vowel sounds and stress. The verb say.
Yes. The third person is spelled S-A-Y-S.
Yeah.
But pretty much every native speaker pronounces it with the vowel from bad. It sounds like says.
He says, she says.
Exactly. Anything else is a real giveaway.
And we absolutely have to talk about the difference between pronouns and pronunciation.
Oh, this is a huge one. The verb is pronounce, so people logically think the noun must be pronoun indiciation.
But it's not.
It's not. The stress shifts. It's pronundiciation. There's no noun sound in it at all. Fixing that is such a high-value change because you use that word when talking about language itself.
That's a great point. What about those words we sort of crush together when we speak quickly?
Reductions. They're key to sounding natural. For example, vegetable. If you say all 4 syllables, it sounds very deliberate.
A bit robotic.
A bit. We reduce it to 3. Vegetable. Same with chocolate. It often becomes 2 syllables. Chocolate.
And you have to mention the difference between desert and dessert.
An absolute classic. The dry, sandy place is the de-cert. Stress on the first syllable.
And the sweet thing you eat after dinner
is desert. Stress on the second. Get that wrong, and you're asking for sand for your final course.
Okay, that covers the sound. Now let's move up a level. Let's talk high-level strategies for communication when the pressure is on.
Yes. And let's start with something I call the spelling tax, especially for exams or formal writing.
The spelling tax. I like that.
It's where your answer is conceptually perfect, but one wrong letter makes the whole thing incorrect. We see advanced students lose points on this all the time, confusing words like date and data, for instance.
So what's the fix for that? How do you unlearn a spelling mistake that's already stuck in your brain?
You need a dedicated notebook. In one column, you write the word the way you incorrectly spell it, the way your brain wants to write it.
Yeah.
In the second column, you write the correct spelling. Over time, you'll start to see patterns in your mistakes. You'll see exactly where your brain is going wrong, and you can target that specific issue.
That's a really smart tactic. Okay, now, what about that moment of panic when you're reading or listening and you hit a word you don't know?
It happens to everyone. The most important thing to remember is that the goal is not to understand every single word.
Right.
We teach 2 strategies. The first is what we call the shark strategy.
Sharp strategy. Keep moving or you die.
Exactly. If you can understand the main idea without knowing that one word, just ignore it. Keep going. Don't let one word stop your momentum.
And what if that word is essential? Strategy B.
Contextual guessing. You have to use the clues around it. If the sentence is, contrary to popular blank, conflict can be a good thing, well, the word has to mean something like belief or opinion or wisdom.
So you use the sentence to solve the puzzle.
And in doing so, you actually strengthen your passive vocabulary, which leads us to the biggest challenge of all.
Moving words from passive, the ones you recognize, to active, the ones you can actually use yourself.
Right. This takes real effort. One great trick is to try and explain a new word to a child.
Ooh, I like that.
If you can simplify a complex idea like, say, ambiguous, into terms a 4-year-old can grasp, it means you truly understand it. You own that word.
And what's another technique?
A proper vocabulary notebook. Don't just write the word and its definition. Write synonyms, antonyms, and, this is the most important part, a full, memorable sentence that uses the word in a way that's relevant to your life.
That makes it stick.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch to speaking. Specifically, how to start your answers to sound more natural. So if someone asks me a preference question like coffee or tea,
Don't just say tea. Start with a short modal phrase. I'd say I generally prefer tea because it just softens it and sounds more conversational.
Okay, and for an opinion question, like, should kids learn to code?
Start with a filler. Well, I think. Or for a more advanced answer, actually, in my opinion, it depends on. That shows you can see both sides of an issue.
What about telling a story, a past experience?
You need to signal that you're shifting tenses. Use a direct recall phrase. Well, I remember last year. Or it happened when I was... It's like a signpost for the listener.
And for those tricky, hypothetical questions, if you could live anywhere.
You have to match the grammar. Use would plus a verb. I would probably choose Lisbon because it shows you understand the unreal nature of the question.
Excellent. Finally, let's talk about something incredibly practical. Complaining effectively in English.
Yes. This is a life skill. The key is to be calm, clear, and very direct. Let's take a common one. Slow Wi-Fi.
The worst.
Don't just say my internet is bad. Use the right vocabulary. Connection, signal, router, bandwidth. Say the connection keeps dropping, or I'm not getting the speed I'm paying for.
And you have to state what you want, right?
Absolutely. You need to ask about a refund or a free upgrade. Be specific about the solution you're looking for.
Okay, what about the other modern nightmare, the food delivery disaster?
Same principle. Use precise terms, missing items, refund, credit, ETA.
So instead of, you forgot my pasta, say?
Part of my order didn't arrive. The pasta was a missing item. Or, the food arrived cold about 20 minutes after the ETA. It's factual, not emotional.
And what if they offer you credit for the app instead of your money back?
You need to be clear. I'd prefer a full refund to my credit card rather than store credit. Using that specific language shows you know your options and you're serious.
All right, that brings us to the end of today's conversation on real-world English communication skills and common mistakes. We hope you picked up some useful new phrases today. We covered a lot, from critical tense fixes to silent letters and even strategies to build your vocabulary.
Remember, the focus isn't just knowing all the rules, it's about developing the skill to apply them. And, maybe more importantly, to recover when you hit a word you don't know or a problem you need to solve. The goal isn't perfection, it's effective communication. Try to choose just 3 new words or phrases from this episode and use them this week. Practice makes progress.
And that final point we discussed, the difference between passive and active vocabulary, the words you recognize versus the words you can confidently use. Really think about your own learning. How large is that gap for you? And what is one new phrase you'll actively use today to help shrink that gap?
Now, it's our favorite part of the show, the question of the day. Based on what we talked about, we want to know, what is one common grammar mistake or tricky pronunciation rule you are determined to master this week?
Let us know your answer in the comments section below. It's a great way to practice your writing, and we genuinely love reading about your lives.
And finally, if this helped you, please give it a huge thumbs up and share it with a friend who's also learning English. It really helps the channel grow.
Thanks so much for listening. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
See ya.